Here we go. Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook on Monday the 17th of October. Kim Watson speaking. So on this video, question of course, is the yen going to go up to 150? Well, this rate, it certainly looks like it's got a good chance of getting up to 150. It's 140, near enough for 149, a few pips away, not that many from it. And there's little here showing the hand otherwise. Coming back, let's just go down to let's just look at, well, actually we can do it from here. A few weeks ago we had the intervention. It created some sort of volatility and certainly saw a sell-off, but however, on the dollar against the yen, that is. Since that stage we've pretty much recovered and of course gone past. I guess the question is, are we going to see another intervention? We're getting towards a month in time. Goodness knows what's going to be the catalyst, because we've gone far beyond sort of levels. I would expect that 150-ish area might be the point at which something's done. However, I thought that quite a few points beforehand, so it seems that little is being done in terms of intervention, and perhaps they're just hoping the markets to sort themselves out. But for now, it looks like, certainly technically, there's no reason. I went back and, as far as I can see on my data here, on the quarterly data I have here, it's broken out. It's since I've been trading currencies. Look, back in 1998, look, it's broken those highs. So it's certainly technically looking like it's got the scope to push up further, that's for sure. It's whether or not there is an intervention beforehand. That's the only thing that seems to be stopping it. However, having said that, I was looking at the sentiment from the larger traders, and this is something I look at each Monday, well, do the analysis each Monday morning. And you see, last time it got the sentiment got really bullish was back in 2021. We'll look at that January 2021, and we've sort of gone the other way. We've gone really bearish here, and we're sort of extreming in terms of near-term time. It was minus 84,000 contracts. Let's see if we've gone anything lower than this. No, that is as low as the yen's gone since, well, since 2013 at least. So in near term numbers, that's as low as it's been. And the trend recently, over the last few weeks, if I can pull this back here, has been changing. And now this isn't a timing tool by any means. Well, can't get it to do anything here because I'm trying to do something with the wrong button here. This certainly isn't a timing tool. If you watch 2021, it was still getting stronger and stronger. Here it's got weaker and weaker, and it's still getting weaker, and it takes a little while. So we've still got to look at the technicals, but all it's really showing us is that there is money coming in, coming back in, or so. What more to the point is we're seeing the shorts being unwound slightly, rather than a bullish sort of buying spree. It's more the shorts being unwound. So we've seen that recently over the last few weeks. So who knows? That's a big money sentiment. Whether that's going to reflect into the markets, and when it's going to properly reflect into the markets, is another matter. Right, okay, there's the answer for that one. Yes, it could easily get to 150, but there is the risk of intervention. Right, before I go on to the euro, etc., let's just look at the risk elements for this morning in terms of the calendar. If we could just go to today here, you just see what the calendar is for today, and there's very little really there. There's the New Zealand inflation at 10:45 this evening, but the Empire State Manufacturing Index, yep, this could create a bit of volatility. It doesn't normally, but with the slowdown that we're seeing and potential slowdown, these early indicators, they're a bit lighter, but it could well create much more movement. So I've noticed they've increased the impact to red. I mean, it's been yellow and orange, and now gone to red. We'll see. anything growth wise at the moment is getting a lot more focus. So that's really all that's out today. Let's just come over here to look at the speakers, and there doesn't appear to be a lot of speakers coming out today either. I'm just looking, that's the 18th. Let's just go back a bit. 17th then. Well, there are a few speakers. So I'm not too sure that Chancellor's going to deliver a full fiscal plan. I thought that was the 31st of October. Anyway, but we might hear something more coming through there, which might settle the markets for the pound at least. That's quite key there, about 11 o'clock ish. Before that, ECB speakers. I mean, they've been singing pretty much off the same hymn sheet in terms of interest rates are still needed, increases are still needed. Right, let's go through the rest of these currency markets. Sorry, a lot of time there, but it's important we look at the data behind the numbers and the charts, and it gives us a bit of, if the fundamentals are still getting weak and are still weak as we're seeing here with the euro, well, we can expect still further downside. So we're looking at the euro dollar. We obviously seeing the bigger trend, certainly still to the downside. I'm just sort of looking at this short-term trend here, and if I've done it on the, yeah, I have done it on here. It's just breaking this short-term trend at the moment. Of course, it's a bit early in the morning for me to be trading, but we have got the weekly pivot sitting there below us, which could be a draw. We're already through the dailies. This could be sliding down for the previous lows and even further at this rate. So my bias is to the downside. I'll see what happens post 8 o'clock, but at the moment I'm quite interested on the short side of the euro. The pound, well, the pound is a bit of an odd one. The variables are changing a little bit with Hunt speaking later on, Chancellor Hunt. We'll have to wait and see, I think, on the pound a little bit more, but I was looking at it last week. A break back above this sort of 114.98 area, or the 50 MA would be certainly a more bullish mode, but might take a bit of time. But it could run completely indifferently to everything else at the moment with what's been going on in the UK. Yen, well, I've already covered that really pretty much this morning. Will it continue pushing up? There seems little else there at the moment to stop it, and it's not really showing too much a sign of changes, whether the sentiment's coming down or I'm just sentiment. I mean, the way it's been pushing up here, you can pretty much see the MACD here, not flying up here, and it's sort of the two moving averages are still a decent part. You can see by the measurements here the moving averages are quite a distance away from each other, or the moving average away from its key line is sitting there quite a distance away and not really letting up too much at the moment. Yep, we could have some divergence across the top here, etc., but we'll see. Right, Aussie dollar. Don't want to go against the yen at the moment, although there may be an opportunity, but played differently. Aussie dollar, well, it's pretty much Friday selling off again. It's again looking soft here. We're seeing a pretty similar-ish picture across some of these markets where it's catching a rally at the moment. It's just short of its daily and weekly pivots just above us here. It might set us something up later on this morning. I prefer to be on the short side still on this Aussie, so may get a set up later to the short side. Maybe well, just waiting for that trend break really post 8 o'clock. CAD, likewise really, and it's obviously inverted to the long side, but it's Friday it surged up again after getting there on Thursday. Friday pushed back up, and now we're looking like it's come down the time frames here. You've got this sort of flag pattern that and a bullish engulfing, so again we could see further upside develop this morning. Of course, all this can change shortly after 9, and I might be talking to the guys in the room later and saying, well, actually I'm just staying out of it for now, because I certainly don't want to go against the bigger trends that are sitting there. Okay, switching markets, looking quickly at gold. Morning, Michael. Christina, morning. Let's look at the gold here. Gold, 60-minute wise roll, it looking soft, and the bigger picture on gold hasn't really changed. It's, I mean, it looked for a while that it was going to go pushing out there, but a lot of the markets did. This has just rolled back over. It's given lower highs on its way down here, given the lower highs coming through and looking soft. It could push up towards the weekly pivot. In fact, if it does this today, tomorrow, I could be quite happy looking at that and just waiting for the reversal sign and go short on it. So I'm still sitting there quite pessimistic on the oil. Morning, Ian. On oil, on gold. Talking of which, let's have a look at oil. So oil, I'm a little bit more bullish on, but the market technically isn't really going for me at the moment, and we saw it on Friday. It just rolled back over on Friday, just when it looks like it's got some scope. Maybe I'm sitting on the wrong sort of line of things here. I'm still thinking of the $100 oil, and that's with winter coming again with us, unless we see a backtrack from OPEC plus. I think we have got the chance to the upside. However, technically at the moment it does look bear flag territory here on the intermediate time, short time, 60-minute time frame here, does look quite bearish. Right, changing markets then, and we'll switch across to the different platform, run through. So I looked at crypto this morning. Let's just quick look at Bitcoin. So Bitcoin not really going anywhere. It was showing signs of potential. Friday it just gave it all the way back, and over the weekend it's pretty much the fear factor is still sitting there. Doesn't matter how you look at it. The general retail markets are just unsure. They're not really willing to buy in. All the blurb that you get from these Instagrammers that are just trying to build the price up, just not worth coming to anything at the moment. And technically, well, there's no surprises. The dollar is so strong. Quick look at Ripple. Ripple's come off regardless of court cases, etc. that are going on, and it still hasn't finished, but not coming through to anything here. And Binance again looking similar picture. So there you go, all looking on the softer side of things. Certainly for those that are sort of looking at it end of day and looking at trends and the potential just as a sort of a bit of a buy and hold, they certainly don't look that attractive at the moment. Coming across into the equity markets and CSI 300, well, the bounce continues for the CSI 300 at the moment. It's done pretty well. We're seeing a bit of a positive day through most of the markets. The Nikkei hasn't. It gapped down and has not managed to do too much. It's in such a mess. It's a bit like a dot to dot. You have to draw the lines to where this chart is. I mean, I might even just change it to a line chart, a single line chart. It's difficult to see which way it's going. Lots of gaps. It's got a gap below it now from where it went through on Friday. Looking soft, but the overall picture is still not looking particularly strong. Nifty 50, again, consolidation around its sort of lowish area. I do wonder again if we see, yep, we're seeing a bit of joy at the moment, and we saw joy on Friday, believe it or not. That was a gap up, and it's still open. It's still closed up on the day, but I'm looking across the lows of these markets for potential downside. S&P's taking it as a bit of a gauge for the US markets here. Again, Friday saw us sell off, looking quite bearish there. This morning things are picking up a little bit, but for how long, we'll have to wait and see. Asked to look at the Nasdaq, so we'll come down this and look at it in a bit more detail. It's early days. Trend strongly down. I'm sure there'll be people wanting to buy into this, thinking it's going to go, but strongly down at the moment. We may get some. I think we're into earnings, aren't we? So, but we've got a bear flag kicking in across on the lower time frames here, and it's pushing up at the moment. But patience, waiting to see if the bear flag works. You're not going to lose any money. Being patient. So there we are. Answer on that one. Okay, let's come a bit close to home quickly then. CAC picking up a little bit this morning. CAC and DAX are picking up, but neither of these markets, they've both failed to give us a higher low, which might have signaled for a bit more buying in the European markets, and they might still push up that way. Be interesting to see some of these big pension companies, big pension funds, beg your pardon, whether they're starting to look to switch markets that they're invested in at the moment, because it's shaky old times for some of them. However, FTSE's not doing too much, just opened up, not doing a great deal this morning, just pitching up a little bit, but joy across the markets at the moment. How long that will last, I'm not so sure. The trends are certainly to the downside. On that note, I'm going to leave it there and wish you a great day's trading, and I'll speak to you in the morning. Bye for now.